Howdy everybody, it's your old dear friend Jim or Jaime from East Tennessee Preparedness. It's Wednesday, I think. Just got off work, got the kids rounded up after school. I always walk down to the end of the street and get to my first grader, even though it's not 75 yards. I don't trust people in this day and age. In a blink of an eye, they can get gone. Just a sad world we live in, a sad reality. My 15-year-old and 11-year-old are big enough to ride the bus and walk home together. So, had a pretty good week so far. Been working. Still hadn't heard about the irregular position. It'll come if it comes, if it's meant to be. If not, I'll go back to where I was before, if they ever start back up. But I've had a decent week. I hope you have. And I was wondering about what to talk about. I was going to make a video yesterday. I hadn't really watched the news much here lately, which is a good thing sometimes, just to get out of it. I really hadn't had a chance to watch many prepping videos. I caught a little bit of the live stream last night, but when you get up at 4:30, I tend to go to bed early. And I'll try to watch a little bit more one tonight. But I saw where General MILLEY pretty much broke the chain of command, called China an enemy, or shouldn't be an enemy of the United States, making deals behind the commander-in-chief's back. He should be fired. He should be court-martialed, and he should spend the rest of his life in Fort Leavenworth. Because what would happen if, what happened to that lieutenant colonel that said something about the Afghanistan withdrawal? Oh, he's got to get out. We got to get him out of here. Just keep your mouth shut for 3 years, you can ride it out. MILLEY, or he has no backbone. He's too busy being woke. And if you're woke, you're a joke. If that happened to a enlisted man, he'd be in Leavenworth if he broke the chain of command. Guarantee it. But I'll tell you what's going to happen to MILLEY and that other idiot that's Secretary of Defense. Not one thing. Not one thing will happen to it. The Republicans will raise Cain. Some of the Democrats will put on a good show, especially if they live in a state where they might get not reelected, but nothing will happen. I used to think when I first started hearing about it that the deep state wasn't real. It's real. All the alphabet agencies are in it. All the little bureaucrats, the paper pushers, they're in it. And now the last great vestige of independence or freedom, or, supposed to be independent from politics. Well, they're in it, the military. Thanks, Obama. You started that crap. So instead of worrying about winning wars and battles, we're worried about flight suits for pregnant aviators, which I don't get it. Worrying about diversity and equity. The military has one job: to fight battles and win them, to win wars, and they would if the politicians and leadership would get the heck out of the way. So, believe me when I say if something bad happens and you're dependent on the government to come and save you, you're living on Fantasy Island with Mr. Rourke and the plane guy, because it ain't gonna happen. You're on your own. So you better prepare like you're on your own. And if you're not preparing, then you could get on the cattle cars or the buses and go to wherever they tell you to go. That's just it. You better be as independent as you can. I would love to get out of here, buy 10 acres, put a little house on it, have some cows and some goats, and take my chickens with me, but that just ain't possible at this time, so you have to make do with the best you can with where you're at. If you're in a big city, I live in they call it a city, but it's probably 50,000 people if I had to guess. Still too big for me, but if you live in New York, Chicago, Seattle, Dallas, Houston, places like that, and you ain't seen the writing on the wall, if you can get out, go. If you got to drive an hour to work or commute an hour, it'll be worth it. I'm a little too close to my neighbors for my liking. Like I say, I'd like to be the two old guys on Secondhand Lions. If you ever saw that movie, it's hilarious. And buy about 100 acres, put a house in the middle of it, and shoot at anybody got close enough to see. like they used to wait on the traveling salesman in that movie with their shotguns out. But anyway, try to do what you can where you're at and do the best you can. What I really need to work on is medical stuff, and I need to get in better physical condition. I'm getting fatter than a hog again. But that's gonna start tonight. Instead of sitting down there on my big lazy rear end when I get the chickens fed and water the garden a little bit, I'm gonna get my dumbbells out and start trying to improve my strength and try to get in a little better shape. When I get back to where I have more time off, I'm gonna start my walking up again. And I used to be a runner. You never know it looking at me. I used to run the 10Ks and the 8Ks and the 5Ks, and was actually training for a half marathon 15 years ago when I hurt my knee. So, but that's a goal. Maybe I set a goal next year to run a 5K. I know I'm not going to be as fast as I was 15 years ago, but because if something ever does happen, it's going to be a lot more physically, you're going to be a lot more physically active. So work on that if you can. So I hope everybody's having a good week, and keep your eyes peeled, your head on a swivel, and your mind open. You can't just get one side, you have to check all sides and try to dissect the nuggets of truth from anywhere you can. But that's it for today. I'll talk to you fine folks later. If you like the video, shoot it a thumbs up. If you don't, you know what to do there. If you're new here and never saw one of my videos and you like it, subscribe if you feel inclined. If not, maybe you will in the next video. But that's it for today, kids. I'll talk to you later. Adios, amigos.